Hey, check it out. It is Mom Shadows. Fashionably late as always. I didn't mean to be, but right off the bat, I want to say we had some winter weather here on the East Coast. So, everybody there that's going to drive tonight or whatever, please be careful. Because from what I've heard, it's been an ice rink, especially in my New Hampshire. So, everybody out there, please be safe. I know it's the holidays. I know we all want to have fun and everything, but if you can, stay put because, as far as I'm concerned, the travels are very treacherous. I just want to give that message. In any area that's experiencing any winter weather, I always want to take utmost precaution. Just be safe out there, not only for yourself, but for everybody else out there. With that being said, as far as the rest of the world, yes, I could talk figure. You know what's been on my mind is that Bret Hart interview about Vince McMahon. And here's Bret. I gotta get a better Bret Hart Hasbro. I got the Mattel one, but I just wanted to use the OG. So if you haven't, Bret Hart was on an interview and said Vinnie Mac and Shawn Michaels were apparently that's fine and everything if that is consensual, but it's really kind of funny at the same time. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, I've been so bored. I miss live streaming. Hell yeah, well, dude, everybody's waiting for you to get on back. I myself am gonna, be doing them Tuesdays and Fridays for sure. Um, I'm kind of gonna be a few nights of the week, but I'm trying to do a few things. So in between that, make some content and stuff because I just been live streaming this week an insane amount. But I just felt like Black Friday, Thanksgiving, and everything. Why not? You know what I mean? Hey, Destiny, Sister Shadows. What's going on, Destiny? Yeah, Waddy. That's Sister Shadows is in the house. I put her as a moderator. Us is also a moderator. I don't know how many moderators you can have or who would be interested, but if someone is, yeah, go for it. But I'll have to ask my sister. No offense, one will be the best moderator, but I don't want to make her seem like she's gonna be here every time, especially because I'm very inconsistent. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'll put on a live stream in 20 minutes. So, but she knows me anyway. That's how it goes. Anyway, this story, though, which really captivated me, was the Bret Hart interview. I forget what the guy's name was, but if you follow, you've seen it was the Vince McMahon and Shawn Michaels love story. Which I thought for years, I thought Vince, and it's fine, if they were consensual. Oh yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying it is fun. I'm not gonna lie. How can I not laugh? Shawn Michaels and Vince together, always and forever. And just the way that he announced him, ladies and gentlemen, Shawn Michaels. Oh yeah, so sexy. You know what I mean? It was well. So even in my own content, I always go to Vince McMahon and announce it because he's so obnoxious and intense. But when it came to Shawn Michaels, he hit an extra notch, and it's a little suspect. So I put these guys lying down on each other. Nothing. I'm just hey, whatever's whatever after that. But Bret, I don't know. Does he really have a reason to lie? That's what I'm saying. Bret's so awesome because he's also very grouchy, and I actually love that about him when he's just hates Goldberg, he hates everybody. I like it. Good for him. He should be that way. Excellence of execution. So, what I miss here? Anything? Oh wait, appreciate sharing the fundraisers. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, Waddy. Yeah, check it out. Go to Waddy's channel. Go to the on Instagram and Facebook. He's trying to get some funds together to launch a figure line that I believed in from the beginning. It's like an LJN inspired line, but dedicated to people that provide YouTube content and everything. And he himself, you know, YouTube guy, YouTube legend. He's got to make a figure of himself. Hell yeah. He's got the what's it called? The Army Edition, the Devil Edition, and my brother BBA, brother from another mother with the wrestling figure collection. I mean, or the wrestling. I'm sorry, wrestling figure fed. And what I'll say about BBA, like I've always, something I admire, something I can't do myself. The stop motion, that is talent. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, hey, I'll always give myself praise for my talent, but BBA, you know, I also definitely, especially when they're talents outside myself, and stop motion's crazy. And it looks great, everything he does. And I guess he's bringing it back. What about Maniac Riot Wrestling? I hear a little bit of waves about that in the comment, but yeah, man, go to Waddy if you get a few bucks in these holidays. I know things are tight. Like, throw him a few bucks to get this line going, you know what I mean? That's what I say. You know, you gotta support the guy trying on the come up, and somebody trying to do something different's already been overdone. Like, I think he's coming at it with a different angle, so I'd go for it. WTF Hitman. Said Cad. I don't know, like, do I know if they're not? Like, of course not, but it's just, just plain delivery. Like, yeah, I think Vince and Shawn were lovers. It was just like so, like, okay. He's like, yeah, you know, I think I'm close to the truth. You know, maybe it's, you know what? He's closer than the situation than most of us. I'll say that much, you know. So if these two are always and forever, this moment with you, you know, hey, it's all love. Yeah, Bret himself said he'd say it to him themselves. Like, if Shawn, oops, sorry, Vinnie Mac. If Shawn was, or Vince was next to him, he'd say, I think you guys are lovers. And that's fine. I mean, it's just, I don't care what people do, you know what I mean? But just the fact that Shawn Michaels would be sleeping with Vince McMahon to be the world champion. Yeah, Bret could definitely be out of his mind. It's just damn funny. What can I say? It's just really funny. And it's fine if it's true, but it would shed a lot of light on things. So I'll put these guys down for a second. Adam says you like WWE. I mean, I've still followed it. I followed the change. It was like, what was it, like 2003? Hogan was the champ, I remember. They put a whole thing. The last era WWF, Hogan was the SmackDown champ. Then it went to like WWE. So I definitely been watching. I'd say, to be honest, like 2011 to 2020, I peaked in and out. 2020, I actually started checking it out because I was like, with the Shemek, I was like, let me see how they handle like not having an audience. It's gonna be weird, and it sucked. So then I kind of took a break for a while, and then I started hearing, you know, the whole I took a crap on people type of thing. So I'm like, well, you know, if that error is out because it's terrible, let me see what Trips H, and I should have brought a Triple H figure, but to illustrate, everyone knows who Triple H is. So he came in, so I'm like, all right, let's see what this is about. Then The Rock's invited and is in part of the TK. And then in 2024, I'll say it started catching my attention. It did. And like I said before, maybe it's the old man in me. It's like, oh, I know The Rock. So I started watching, but Whatever it was about that final battle, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really liked it. I liked how the language is getting a little more coarse. I like how the blood was starting to be, put in there. I'm not a huge like, oh yeah, let's bleed. It's more just like when it's appropriate or gonna lift the story, then why not? And I know that was missing from WWE for a while, so in that way, they hooked me back in 2024. So think about this past year to try to sum it up. 2025. Not feeling it. I can see they're trying to push Jey Uso down everyone's throat and bum and whatever orifice they want to shove him. And I know he's like cool with the live crowds, but obviously the internet crowds, who are the ones that are paying the apps and the subscriptions to watch this crap every night, I think they should also have some say in this. But they didn't, and they want to push Jey Uso. I mean, he's a great character. He's got his heat and everything, but his in-ring is like average at best. Do you see that ancient Viking deuce they found? Really? That's interesting. No, I'm assuming you're talking about some old log of crap that came up, but that can be dated as such. If so, hey, that's very interesting. If it was a joke, it missed the mark. But if it was actual, that's pretty interesting, actually. And I wonder what date it was from. Then you can know what type of diet, like a Viking had back in those days, which is, pretty interesting. I'm not up to like, hey, I see a log or a pile of shit, and I'm just like, yeah, let's investigate. But when it's ancient, pretty interesting. Waddy. If anybody ever knows how to reach out to wrestlers directly, in mind, I love to know how to collect these guys and throw ideas past them and maybe possibly working together. Yeah, for sure, man. Oh, no, I was just saying, I know the line's going to jump off on that. But also, Waddy, I'm sure if you can work with some of the wrestlers, it would be a great idea to branch off. I think his initial jump off's a good idea, and then I'm sure he'll branch from there for sure. All Saints Day 17. Do you like Cornette? I'll tell the truth. You know what? Every night, this is gonna sound sweet. Every night I fall asleep to Jim Cornette's beautiful voice because actually that's what I listen to. Not out of boredom to go to bed too, but like I'm actually interested to see what he has to say, and then I'll like catch back. A lot of what I know from AEW is actually from his mouth, and I know that's kind of biased, but I listen to his reviews and I don't know, it's just damn funny. Like, I don't mean to like bounce on AEW, but like just the way that he describes it is hilarious, in my opinion. So I'm definitely a Jim Cornette person. I listen to all the new experience, all the new drugs and everything. I also watched that Vince Russo interview with that Ariel guy or whatever. That's kind of like, a piece of toast, but I guess somehow he's a great host. Oh, that rhymed. But it was interesting. I thought Russo brought up some points, but also thought he had a lot of self-grandeur. And that's kind of what Cornette describes. So I could see that, like, I'm waiting for Cornette to comment on the Vince Russo on Ariel. I've seen other people commenting that, and I definitely agree. When it comes to wrestling, Jim Cornette definitely knows what I'm talking about. No, I definitely agree. People will say old guard, people will say old school, and he's back in his times, and like, no, I don't feel that way. A lot of what he says makes sense. I mean, yeah, some of it dated, but like, is that such a bad thing is the question. like there was a conversation about punches, and I think Bret Hart brought it up too. And I don't know if I'd single out Sheamus, but yeah, one of the new like wrestlers, they throw these little like the guy can even throw it that crappy. You know what I mean? Just like flick their little fingies out when they like punch the dude. I'm not saying it was great back in the day when, like, as it's been said, like a Terry Funk just drilled you as hard as he could. I'm not saying that was great there. I mean, it looked good, but also I can see what he's saying. Like, there was a story that Ric Flair would practice like punching a string that hung from a doorway like so many hundred times or whatever. Couldn't move the string, but throw a like convincing punch. The art of that, I think, is long gone. Like, it's a lot of slappy poos and chop fests and like these forearm exchanges. So it's a little redundant and it don't look like that convincing. I mean, and that goes for WWE too. I've seen a few like people get on top of a dude and throw the punches on him, and it's like, come on. Like, I hit my nephew harder than that, and that's like soft as hell. Do you watch NWA, Doctor? No, where I'm an old dude, so back I did like, well, actually, I went back. I really my fandom like went up in the '90s, so a lot of the times I start looking back to the past, and I try to rent like old school VHSs because once I got really into wrestling, I'd say fairly end of 1990, you know. So it took me a while. Like I was initially in the '80s into like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and Transformers and stuff like that. I would watch wrestling here or there. I definitely liked the cartoon actually. I think I preferred the cartoon to actual wrestling back then. And then like combination of just like through the channels one day and I just watched like a random superstars and I remember who it was Earthquake Squash him dude. And Mr. Perfect hit the perfect plex. It was around the time when Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, in the casket. Now, I don't know why that angle actually made me like a huge wrestling fan because I heard it on the bus. I was on the bus and someone was like, "Did you say that Ultimate Warrior was locked in the casket by the ear?" And all of a sudden, my ears, I'm like, somebody locked someone in a casket. This is interesting. Maybe that just shows my own illness. But I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I like kind of eavesdropped on what they were saying. So I was like, I gotta check this out actually. So I had the TV to myself, luckily, one Saturday, flipped it on, and I still remember it to this day. I was instantly a fan. And then once that started happening, I got the Hasbro's and I got, everything. I started going to like VHS stores and looking back on a lot of stuff. So long story long, the original one, yes. As far as the past, like, and I'm probably outdated on this. I know, like, Billy Quinn at some point had something to do with NWA. I don't know if he does any longer, but that shows kind of how honest I'll say I'm not really paid attention to NWA in the recent years. Nor anything really like on the independent cuff. A little bit of TNA in there. Um, I did check out AEW, I'd say, for the first year. And I'd say for the first 6 months, I thought it was better than WWE. And then they went down the toilet. And then not only went, like, I thought that was the toilet, but wow, which one today? It's a total toilet. It's like a sewage tank, I think. 2 live shows today. I know I'm double teaming. I like Corny. Got several of his signed figures, a few shirts, a few signed DVDs, and just got his new book signed, and that's funny. Oh yeah, awesome. I love Cornette, man. I've loved him ever since. Like he's so fast, like, and he's so quick witted, and he can just turn a phrase like nobody else. And for someone that tries to do it themselves and myself and try quick humor, he was definitely always like an influence with just that speed. He was just on it. Kind of like a Jerry Lawler, kind of like a Bobby the Brain Heenan. I kind of put them in a category of being so funny and like so quick, you know what I mean? And it's one thing to be like quick on the response, but to also be brilliant and funny, I think they took it that extra level. So, you know, Heaton, Lawler, Cornette, all in that category. And to this day, the Cornette experience, the Cornette drive, I listen to it all the time. I've been meaning, I got to get that shirt with his face on it because I'm definitely a fan. So, lives there. I listen to it whenever a new one comes out, like pretty much like that's my go-to when I lay me down to sleep or I can't sleep. I just pop on Cornette and I listen thoroughly and then probably fall asleep. So as creepy as that is to probably him and his co-host, yeah, their voices, they just put me to sleep like a baby. So they can be weirded out by that. But in honesty, it's just I'm so interested that I'm like in a zone of like I'm just sitting until I actually fall asleep. So take from that what you want. AEW has their own unique audience. Oh wait, hold on. I went too far. I always like this was All Saints Day 17. I always liked when Cactus Jack to worry about Terry Funk, and the reason Funk's punches look so real because they were real. Yeah, that's definitely one of the sources in my head I went to immediately with like, man, Terry Funk would punch somebody, and then you know Mick Foley's like, yeah, well, that's because he really did. So I can only imagine. Those guys are just so tough. And it's not, maybe it is me being an old man, but like something about those dudes in the 80s or 90s, they were built different, you know? They were just tough MF. AEW is toilet and has been set on fire. Flipped off roofs through several tables and other furniture, stabbed repeatedly by forks and screwdrivers, then kicked out of a 12 straight finishes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. When I first saw I want to give him a chance because I'm like, here's like, you know, another company trying, and here's like supposedly this gonna be a competitor for WWE. And it didn't help that WWE was complete trash time. So when I watched it, I think in comparison, and I won't lie, I'd say the first 6 months of AEW was better than WWE. But only because WWE was such garbage. So as like WWE decided to, you know, pick it up a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more. And I actually credit that a lot to the women's division. You know, because like I think without that, without like your Becky Lynch's or your of course Rhea Ripley or whatever, like her come up or whatnot, like I don't know if they would have dug themselves out of that hole. So and I think AEW just kind of like showed its colors. I don't know like if that was the point. I don't know enough about the history of AEW if they had someone else on creative, but as far as I've heard, it's Tony Khan on creative by himself. I mean, I don't know. You can say what you want to say about that. I've never ran $1 billion business. You know, I haven't ran a ball team. I mean, I know he's got a lot on his plate, but kind of the point is he's got a lot on his plate, so maybe hand over the duties to, you know, someone that knows what they're doing. I mean, they got like a lot of talent. It's just they either don't know how to use it or don't use it or lose it. And all the lower mid card match that went 30 minutes on a Wednesday night. Oh wait, Doctor Know what where I like Mick Foley's Harley race stories. I mean, yes, hell yeah. We all love Harley on this channel, or I do. We gotta love Harley. But yeah, Mick Foley's a great retailer too. I liked his Foley his pod. I know it didn't last too long, but I definitely enjoyed listening to that. Save some of that wrestling for pay-per-view, right? Dr. No Quick Bill. Father Hill, I want to like AEW. I've been rewatching some of the older content from HBO Max, and WWE needs competition, but it's hard to watch current AEW. Yeah, pretty much. It's just, man, I hate to be negative, but the truth is the truth. It just sucks. It sucks. AEW sucks. Sorry, it just sucks. Like, it could have been good and it could be good, but as it sits right now of November, whatever the hell day it is, maybe 28th, sucks. Of 2025, it sucks. So, unless they can do something very drastic or find a better way to utilize some talent they do have, or actually talent they're holding hostage, then, I mean, it sucks, I guess, because, this guy could survive because he's just Tony Khan. He doesn't care. This is like, and I do agree with Corn. It's like a fantasy fig for him, a fantasy fig fed for him, except they're actually humans. You know what I mean? I hate when like he locks down talent, doesn't breathe or go to wherever they need to go, or try to pull that bull. Like, it's just like, dude, come on. You know what? Well, maybe he doesn't. He's delusional, so he doesn't know why they're running from him. They're running from him. They see it, like. And some people actually want to utilize their talents while they have it, and not sit for 2 years. And then when you decide to use them, like, bring them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're, 28 and somebody's sitting on you till you're 30, you missed a couple of those years. Son of a Plumber, Dusty Rhodes, one of my favorites, and we always got to give respect. American Dream. Terrible, but I tried my best. What was the other one? Not an MJF fan. On contraire. You did not let me get to that, but you asked the question, so you let me get to that. MJF is an exception. I've liked him since I saw him. It reminded me of like old school heelism. I like how he's a dick to everybody, even in the autograph set and everything. It throws me back to like what a heel used to be. MJF, I'd love to see in WWE. I think he should have went this last time. He got a cute little tattoo on his ankle that no one's ever going to see when he goes to WWE. And it was just like, ugh, delaying the inevitable. And God forbid he gets really hurt, and hopefully he doesn't. But wasting his years. Like, he, in WWE would say what they want about, but like, if they want to make you a megastar, they will. Now, will they want to do that with MJF? I think he's got all the ingredients for it, but would WWE salt Peter his character? Definitely could happen. It's been done before. Look at LA Knight. I mean, he's been suppressed. He should have had a world title run by, but I don't know, for some reason, you know. So would they give it that treatment? It's possible, but if he could, like, get on the boner side of Triple H and all them, like, he could be a top guy. No. I gauge him sorry. I like MJF, if I could say letters, All Saints 217. I actually do too. Brian Daniel Bryan, of course. He's a great character and a great ring technician. There's no denying that. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? But he went, I think he ran his course in WWE. I'm sure if he came back, it would be a huge deal. If he was like one of those Rumble people, yes, it would be a huge deal. If he came back like just a mystery opponent, it would be a huge deal. But other than that, I think it's kind of run its course. I mean, the Yes movement was how many moons ago? I mean, not that he's still great in the ring, wants to be, and when he enters the ring, and I think as a Royal Rumble surprise or mystery WrestleMania opponent, if I could talk, or a one night only or whatever, like perfect. But I think both him himself and his course has ran at this point. My wallet is in pain. I think I partook in every figure sale today except zombies, my toys, this fly the L. Yeah. Whew. It's been one. And I still gotta make final decisions, but I do have to pass on zombie toys for now. Um, the Road Warriors look sick, don't get me wrong. But like I said, $99.99. That's only the first story. The second story is shipping. Their story is depending on your state with the sales tax. So you're talking maybe I misquoted. It might even be more. I said 110 to 115. It might even be up to, depending on your state, 110 to 117, 119. I mean, with sales tax, it's a hefty, hefty bill. Um, Especially when you got, and Fly the L knows, like sales from J&J where like KWKs you can get less than like $20 and under, and they're legends too, you know what I mean? And then you look at them, you're talking like 60 a figure. And I love the Road Warriors. They're different than a Bull Nakano, they're different than Well Done or some of the people KWK ran. But like, just think about it. And it would be one thing, like, if they never ever made Legion of Doom or Road Warriors, I would buy it. And before people want to complain, these guys are fine. I don't mind them at all. I know, like, oh, the shoulder pads. This is Hasbro, baby. When I found these at a place that, you show my age, called Child World, with my parents, I was if I couldn't have done a cartwheel before, I would have done one. And I was a chubby kid, so I would have done a cartwheel. I could have. However, I'm an adult now, and I love skeleton figures, so maybe not so much. But I got to draw the line somewhere. And $60 is too rich for my cake, too rich for my blood. So, maybe J&J will get a few. I did ask them, and they said for the time being, no. So I respect them for responding because they really didn't have to. So always go to J&J. They always got like grills over there, and especially right now, if you missed out on in KWK, you gotta get over there and do it up. Over 75 shipping's free. I mean, they have a discount code where you don't even have to punch it in. It's 15%. Check it out. Yeah, it's like MJF keeping kayfabe 24/7. Fly the L. He's definitely like out of like quote unquote, and I'm an old guy, new wrestler. Like MJF has really impressed me. Like down to like throwing like autograph things on the floor. I love all that stuff. You know what I mean? Not on the same level ever, but it brings me back to like the Undertaker. He'd go on like a talk show, barely talk, wear all black, sunglasses. He kept gimmick, and then recently we all know the story, but like when he was active, he was Undertaker. And like MJF in a way brings me back to that, but more in like a heel fashion where he's just a bastard. And you gotta admire it. You gotta admire it. And I think if anyone WWE is missing right now, it's MJF. That could make a huge impact is MJF. I mean, there's a lot of legends there, but they're kind of on their tail end. Like MJF, as far as I know, maybe even hasn't hit his prime. So WWE, I believe, needs to do something about that and bring him in like as soon as possible. I think he's the best heel I've seen probably in the past 10 years. Claudio, the former, what's it called? What the hell was his name? Wow, I can't even remember. Cesaro, my goodness. Awesome player. Awesome in-ring wrestler. On the mic, eh. I think like they had the right way back in WWE, making him like a Heyman guy, but they just didn't really believe in it or push it enough. I mean, I think he could be good, and he can be good in like quick like quotes, quick like clips, quick like one sentence thing. The more and more he talks, the more and more I personally get bored. His in-ring stuff is crazy. I love how he wrestles. One of the better wrestlers I've seen. But, and I have to go back. I know it didn't work, but I think WWE had the right idea putting him with Heyman. Kenny Omega. Okay. And I know I'm a Cornette listener, but I'll disagree a little bit. For a time being, because like 2016 to even 2020, for like 4 years, I watched New Japan Wrestling. Like a lot of it, I used to tape it on the old VR, and I'd watch it because I was looking for something different that was current to watch, because I can watch all the old school stuff all day, and I still do, but I wanted something to be like keep up with the times and whatever. And for that time being, Kenny was definitely awesome. Now the AWA days, I think maybe we'll say the first 2 years, but then after that, I mean, dudes, and listen, he can still form in matches, but the Kenny Omega that was impressive died like what 4 years ago. I mean, he used those matches, and I'm not like trying to diss him. I mean, like the types of matches he had probably broke the hell out of him. But I mean, his New Japan matches were solid, but how many moons ago, you know? So if you're saying of all time, I mean, you could maybe put him on a list of like 100, but I don't know. It makes more for me than like referencing old Nintendo games and doing a entrance. But when you get in the ring, you get in the ring, and like that's what's gonna impress me, you know. And I think in New Japan and in AEW did not impress me whatsoever. I think it was going to be about 120 just for Road Warriors, so I passed for now. Thought about adding a few other ZSTs because the shipping handling didn't go up much. Yeah. They got some good deals. Like I said to people, if you have a Raven, the Raven might be my favorite figure from Zombie. And it's up there for like $38, which ain't too bad. I would definitely recommend that one. And then he's got some cheaper ones, like $25. I definitely but yeah, the Road Warriors just too much for me. And don't get me wrong, I think they look really cool, but you know, once I start paying 60 for a figure, it opens Pandora's box. Then I'm spending 65, and then before I know it, broke spending $75 and hugging my latest figure to try to stay warm, or burning the cardboard boxes to get some heat because I can't pay it. So it's just like, yeah. Samoa Joe is awesome. He's been around forever. Always awesome. Always. just a blender of styles, and he's had a lot of longevity. So definitely respect Samoa Joe as Doctor What, Where, What. Oh, jeez. If I could read. Who, what, where. Edge. I think I've talked about him before, but like, great wrestler. Says, or all these people say, like, he's a natural face. Or not everyone, but I've heard that in bad things. No, he sucks as a face. I think he's a way better heel. And I've said before, and I won't elaborate too much because I've said it before, but I loved him and Lita together, especially with that Matt Hardy. So, like, based on real stuff is crazy. Darby Allin. You know what? No, I mean, I've seen something on that where he joined AEW, and it was like him going to a hospital or something. Like, in one way, I admire what he's doing because it's fucking nuts. I mean, like, excuse my French, but like on the other hand, it's like, man, when is it gonna be? Unfortunately, the accident when this guy can't walk again. And I know ever boo-hoo and being soft, but like, I mean, he does some crazy crap, man, and like a lot of it's not necessary, I think. Same with John Moxley. I mean, it's just, you know, there's a lot wrong with AEW, but it could be fixed. It's just, I don't think Tony Khan or any of those people are gonna fix it. So as long as Darby Allin is under the AEW whatever canopy or whatnot, he's just another guy. If he can somehow get into the WWE, I'm sure he'd have to tone down his style a little bit, but I mean, who knows? Oh, I just said Dean Ambrose, John Moxley. No, 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 no. I don't think I ever have. I mean, he was the weakest member of the Shield. He was hey, I'm Dean Ambrose. Then he argued with Stone Cold, and personally, I'm like, okay, now I hate you because, like, how are you gonna argue with Stone Cold on whatever the Stone Cold podcast that he was on? And he acted like a real jackass, and he disrespected Stone Cold. So, I mean, from that point on, personally, he could have himself as many times, and it's not enough. So yeah, I'm gonna have a personal bias. I can't lie. I can't stand the guy. I think he sucks. And on that positive note, I appreciate talking to y'all. I didn't expect all this AEW talk. I didn't expect like I get the current talk. Luckily, I follow enough of it. I mean, to keep up, and I thank Cornette a lot for that because he catches me up with AEW. And I'll check clips on YouTube if I'm bored, but like a lot of time from Cornette, and he's a believable source. But I will go back and watch it for myself sometimes, and then I'm like, well, shit, he was right. Like this does. So pretty much, I think if you were to ask me, what does AEW have to offer? It would be um, MJF, Tony Storm, and then you can just send the rest packing, including Mercedes Monet and all this other bullshit. Pretty much MJF, Tony Storm. They should find a way to get back to WWE before the ship sinks. And on that note, again, I already said it, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. Next week will be like every single day, 2 live streams a day, 5 days a week. Just heavy this week, and my buddy was off. I wanted to do a few things there, then the holidays and the Black Friday. Next week, definitely, excuse me, Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Friday at 7 p.m. will be the nights for the live stream, and we can do it all there. And have a longer live stream if people want, but I think 2 times a week is plenty. This week was even for me, a lot of bum shadows. So I appreciate anyone that's tuned in or anyone that's enjoyed everything, but realistically and humbly, it's gonna be Tuesday, Fridays next week, and yeah, come on down, come on board, talk whatever, you know. It is what it is. I don't mind it. Conversation tonight's been very nice. I mean, there hasn't really been derogatory, and I'd say for the past few there hasn't. So I think the crap is weeded out itself, so that's nice. And what I say is, and I'll say what up to this last person. Your name is in a language I can't, but you said, how are you? Oh, come on, okay. Um, I don't know. I don't care what you idiots say. Like seriously, what can I say? You know, what can I say? What are you, clown? Like, you know, just that statement alone, like I could just put that back on you. And I mean, I'm sure when the shoe fits, I mean, you can whatever the hell your name is in whatever language, but I say, how are you, clown? I'll say, well, no, how are you? Because, I'll tell you. Again, just it's funny. Just as I said that, here comes Doink from like Russia or whatever, and I am not like whatever Russia, but this idiot or whatever his language is, you know, a clown. You know, okay. Well, for everyone that was legit here to talk, besides Clowny Boy, Dustin God, I don't thank you. Russian bot, yeah. Appreciate you. Russian man is in time. Yeah, he's done. I'm gonna actually wrap it up. Not because of that, but it was just like, oh, I just got done saying like everyone was cool, and then here comes this idiot. But I'm not gonna let it down, get me down. You know, I get Sister Shadows does a good moderation and knows how to, you know, take people out. So I appreciate her. And otherwise, no, it was a fine conversation. I'm definitely like surprised how much current wrestling I've been talking, but like it's fine. Thankfully, I keep up with it enough to like carry a conversation, or else I'd be every other second like I don't. But I actually do know who these dudes are. I listen to a lot of it, but I also watch like cheaply on YouTube because I'm not gonna get all the apps to like support WWE. But on YouTube, I just watch all the hype and everything, and that's how I keep up with everything. Like War Games coming up, and all AEW's crap that they're pushing out, and TNA's growth, if you want to argue that. So, happy thanks, happy holidays to everybody. I appreciate everyone that positively participated. Fly the L, appreciate you being here. Doctor Know What Where, most overrated Seth Rollins. I'll have to discuss that on another one, but you have WWE on my Netflix, haha. Shh. I don't know if I saw. I'll have to look, actually. I'll check it out. But yeah, I probably. I don't mind the current wrestling as much as I did years ago. It's gotten a lot better. Sans AEW, though. Like, nah. I don't know. Anyway, not positive note. So let's go on a positive note. I had a great Thanksgiving with my family. I hope you did too. Um, like I said, there's a lot of winter weather. Well, in my area, but I guess just in general. So when they're on the roads, like seriously, I'm not trying to be a mother hen, but you be careful. Be careful out there. Like, don't crash. Don't. If you gotta take it slow, take it slow. You know, like I've said before, you can get other jobs, you can get other doctor's appointments, you can get other commitments, but when we push religion aside, you get one life. So value it and please like take care of it and be safe about it. And definitely on the roads because it's not your life, it's other people's lives too. So that would be my holiday message on that. And that's, I believe, a positive message because all it says is let's care about each other. Let's make it home in one piece so we can all enjoy our lives and continue on and go on to Christmas and to infinity and beyond. So, love y'all. I do think the version of the. Oh man, I gotta read these before I go. I do think the vision is name. Good swerve with Heyman at WrestleMania, though. I kind of saw the first injury being fake so he could steal from Punk, but was still decent. No, I agree with Flydale. I like, Heyman's great. I like when he's involved in anything for sure. Be sober to drive. Doctor, know what, where. There you go, exactly. Hell yeah. Good message by Dr. No. Why do I suck? Doctor Who? What? Where? There we go. I said his name right because he really made, that right there, that's the statement. Be sober to drive. I mean, no matter what the weather is, it could be definitely not icy or anything. Just, it could be perfect weather at like 2 in the afternoon without a cloud in the sky. Be sober to drive, and if you can't, a designated driver, call a Uber. We're not in those days and age where you have an excuse really to do that. Please, definitely with the holidays, we don't want to lose anybody for no reason, you know. Much better than how WWE's book Cena's last year. What a dumpster fire traveling down a river. Now fly though, that heel turn. Ugh. Maybe if they did it 10, 15 years ago, it would have been cool, but like they wait till the last year and then it's just executed so poorly. So at least they tried to like put out the fire without it totally in the year, but it's definitely smudged it. Facts. Hell yeah. It's cheaper than a DUI. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, actually, an Uber is cheaper than. Not only that, it's like loss of license, and I mean, full disclosure, I'd say about this point, 8 years ago, I got a DUI, and it sucked. So don't get one. Don't do that. I was an ass. I could have hurt somebody. I could have killed myself. I could have killed somebody on the road just being an ass. So yeah, definitely. Maybe if The Rock had showed up and that rapper hadn't. Oh, God. Travis Scott. What the? It reminds me of like Triple H, the old guy, like wanting to like try to be cool. So he just pulls out any obscure like rapper that's had any fame and says, you know what? And then like Sexy Red and like all that other crap. No, I don't agree with it. It's stupid. Nobody cares. The audiences don't cross over, really. Let's be honest. I don't get it. I think it's just a way for Triple H to probably feel cool. Okay, I said before that note, I will say good night for now. To at least on Tuesday. Maybe I'll do one this weekend, but I know schedule ones are Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Friday at 7 p.m. I want to actually, of course, look more after my content. So I'm not just doing live streams because I got a lot of things going on the channel. I have Fig Fed that I got to really get back on. I got like a few segments that I run that I want to get back on, and then maybe can talk a little bit about that, talk about some figures, talk about current AEW, WWE, old school, definitely is up my alley. So anyway, just real quick, I appreciate y'all. It's Thanksgiving and for, everybody tuning in and the growth that this has had this year. So I wish you and yours all the happiness and growth in the world, and I appreciate y'all. So On that note, like I always say, keep bombing.